Hello, everybody. It's the start of a new year. A lot of people look on New Year's as a day to start fresh and to set goals for themselves as the beginning of a brand new year begins, as is the case with me. But you see, these goals can't be realized without you. I will be producing weekly content aimed to fight against so much of the misinformation that we see. You see, we live in a time in which everywhere you look, there's a battle of ideas. And information is the only tool that we can use to ensure that we are the victors. With so many mockers and deliberate misinformation agents, I realize that we really need to spread out and to grow. I came here online close to a decade ago, and I was young and immature and was really only participating in discussion out of the hype and fun of debating the atheist. But as I've been away these last few years and occasionally peeking my head in and out of social media, I noticed some things. On the media, there's angry outbursts where their anchors are demeaning religious organizations. The censorship of Christians is on the rise. Groups in which members espouse atheism call out for the uprooting of our government to be replaced with communism. I realize that these beliefs and ideas that we're playing with are truly having an impact on the minds of people all around the world. And what we are witnessing is not only the secularization of our society, but uh, the bad ideas that those, well, let's just call it off for what it is, converted, adopt as they think about how the world is or should be when they perceive it without the God that they have now rejected. So here's my goal, guys. I'm looking to take this channel where I should have taken it from the start before all the distractions. I'm setting a goal to reach 10,000 subscribers by January of 2021, but this is not possible with me just producing content. This has to be a team effort. Otherwise, regardless of how much work I put into producing content, the results are just going to be very, very little. So if you guys would truly like to support this channel, please subscribe and click on the notification bell. More importantly than this, just share every single video that you see. Every time you see a video uploaded, do the best that you can to make sure that you send the link through Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media platform. This is the key. This is how this channel will grow. I'll also be giving weekly shoutouts as well during every goal that I meet to help other like-minded content creators grow as well. So I hope you guys are here with me to fight, and uh, hopefully we can definitely see some results by the end of this year. So God bless everybody. Keep fighting the good fight, and have a wonderful 2020.
Well. Let's stop that here. Okay. So
The misinformation that we
let me start off by saying, hi, folks. This is a video that I'm just going to upload and do the premiere thing, whatever, because it's less distracting. I have a live chat there. I tend to pay attention to it, as well as try to dive into videos. And this is an unusually short video, but I just so happen to have a lot of history with this person, and I think my volume is not coming through correctly, so let me correct that because I always forget to. But as I do that and gaze into the screen here, yep, of course I noticed it. There we go. Interesting. There's something, I have to say this is a pretty well put together video considering who did it. Some of you who are new here may not know who this is, but this person interacted with Matt Dillahunty and Aaron Raw back in the day, back before they became real big time people. They left our community. I have to put that in air quotes. And so that's like the height of what he did here on this particular platform. He still rides on those coattails, and what I mean by that is if you actually look at his channel here, let me actually go here. Yeah, atheist experience. Yeah, just come on, atheist experience. Yeah, so Probably needs a little updating, just a little updating, but whatever, right? Here's what it is. So I like this video, and people who see the title, or they kind of see me make a video about true empiricism, like, oh shit, Drad's gonna go in. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I actually did review some of this stuff, and I actually said, you know what, let me move away from just giving commentary on his commentary about scholarly debate, and let's just all sit down and give constructive feedback to Skylar, because that'd be more efficacious than just talking about what True doesn't understand, because we'd be here all day. So this is interesting to me. When I say this video here, his plans, plan to destroy the left and secularism 2020 goals. Now, I am fully aware that some people in the realm of sociopolitics have lost their damn mind. I absolutely agree with that. Whether they be on the left or the right, people will be fucking crazy. You know what? If there are bad ideas on the left, destroy them. Feel free. Just again, the same thing on the right or anybody else. I don't know. I don't think we should become a communist nation. I think that's fucking stupid, but whatever, right? Just let's challenge the status quo. Let's find out why things are the way that they are, and I think it'll be a launch pad for healthy discussion, right? But I find this interesting. He wants to destroy secularism because, hey, there are private, businesses that don't want PragerU videos on their platform, and so Christians are being persecuted. Again, this particular person, True Empiricism, is big on the Christian persecution complex. It doesn't matter whether Christian did anything right or wrong. Anytime anyone takes any action against a Christian, legal or not, it is bad. So it's bad for business, whatever. I love his admission. And what do I mean by that? Let me go back here for a second. And I'm going to have to give some of you guys some history here.
I came here online close to a decade ago, and I was young and immature and was really only participating in discussion out of the hype and fun of debating the atheist.
Okay, right there. Now, that's something that would have been useful to know a few years ago, back when I was one of the atheists he routinely engaged with. This is the same person who literally argued with scientists, actual scientists, about whether or not water, degrades DNA. The misunderstanding that lasted well over 6 months, folks, well over 6 months, revolved around his misunderstanding of the word degrade in chemistry. Now, if you didn't know, there are words that are used differently in different fields. I'm pretty sure I didn't have to explain that to the majority of you, because I'm pretty sure all of you knew that. For some reason, he did it. But his admission of his own immaturity is refreshing. That does show some signs of personal growth. So I have to hand it to him. Good on you, True. No shade at all. But what I'm curious about, and you're going to take anything that I say offensive anyway, because everything that I say is an affront. I have questions. That's a pretty lofty goal, 10,000. Like, no one just gains 10,000 subscribers. Like, it's something that takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication. And I'm not sure if what you're trying to do is realistic. Now, if you had said, well, I think, where are you at? I think you had a few thousand. Or did you turn it off? Yeah, you might have turned it off. Where are your subscribers? I'm not seeing it. Let me go to About. Okay. Am I just stupid? Or may have turned it off? Okay. I remember you having a few thousand. You know, it may be close, if not probably more than mine. That's a lot. That's a lot. Like, weekly videos could do it, but I'm not exactly sure how you're going to do that when typically you engage with people and then you get frustrated, and then there's this, like there's a split that happens between you and that person, and then you start making videos and revising history as to what happened, even though you'll play video, impugn motives, and then tell the audience what that person is saying, even though they can hear clearly what that person's already saying, and what you're saying that they're saying doesn't match to what it is that they're saying. I've seen that too many times. Again, that may be just something that was an artifact of your immaturity, and that's something going forward that you're not going to do. Maybe, who knows? But again, I'm just going based on my recollection, based on just hearing your interpretation of Skylar's discussion with Matt Slick. Recently, I've seen hints of that. So call me skeptical. So on another point, I'm not sure about your reach. Now, there are Christians who are really good at networking. They've ingratiated themselves with enough people and have kissed enough ass to get in with the likes of Ken Hovind and others to act as a platform for their nonsense. And Standing for Truth, I would have to say, has put in a lot of work. He has done well to avoid people who have actual formal education on topics, and so he finds laymen to kind of just belt out these nonsensical lines that he's now memorized. And does that sound familiar to anybody? True, does that sound familiar to anybody? And so now he has gained a bit of success, and bravo, you have won the internets. So maybe that's the formula you'll take. I don't know, but I think 10,000 still is very, very, very lofty. Very lofty. What specifically are you trying to bring to the table that Christians are going to find enjoyable enough to frequent your page? And not only Christians, anybody can sit around and listen to a Christian circle jerk. Some of the most, prolific internet Christians are dealing with people that they're doing back and forth with, back like during the days where you could actually do video responses and then post a response underneath the pages. That's sort of kind of what we do now, just on, a softer version of that. You could see like Mike Winger and Serious Skeptic, or, just pick literally anybody. But I am still curious, and I want to bring back this point. You don't have a great track record of maintaining those relationships with people long enough so that they directly engage you. And that's the piece that I'm genuinely curious about. How have you re-examined your actions over the last almost, and you're right, you've almost been here for about 10 years, easily. How have you re-examined your behavior in the last decade so that you have rectified the things that you've done wrong? If you've acknowledged that you've been immature in your approach and you just love arguing just to argue, fine. A lot of us are guilty of that. What have you done to correct it? What steps have you taken? How are you going to approach this differently than you have in the past? Because again, I can point to this video here. Let me see. The Slick and Skylar debate. My thoughts. You know what? Let's watch Matt Dillahunty on the Atheist Experience. You do more impugning motives than you do actually discussing topics. And to be fair, maybe I need to check out some of these. Actually, not this video, because this, again, that's just you just, shitting on Arn, whatever. But maybe I need to check this out. Maybe this is something that this video here, discussion with an atheist. I guess an atheist doesn't have a name. And that will show me a difference in your behavior. A noticeable difference. Something tells me probably not. But this one here is interesting. Here, and you guys can't see my cursor. Let me try to highlight. There we go. This one here.
This video is quick.
Typical atheist, Doc Savage, willful ignorance or lack of honesty. Again, we're impugning motives. Just spoke about that. This doesn't really tell me that I am trying to move in a different direction. So here we have an exchange in the comments, probably underneath one of your other videos. And oh, by the way, if you want to get to 10,000 subscribers, it helps to actually keep videos up. Pro tip. Someone please help me understand what or how he missed what I explained to him. Go ahead. I bet you can't. Okay. And I guess someone has to show you how to use these tags. Jesus. So let's see here. Evolution appears to be working well in my lab, and so far I've not seen any supernatural influence. Best wishes, Doc. Okay, cool. For those of you who don't know, Doc is a PhD in biochemistry, specifically within the realm of immunology. So True says it should work well since evolution is a fact. Change happens. Common descent as a conclusion from that change is a leap, though. I don't believe anyone mentioned the supernatural. either. Okay, so let's continue. Just hoping that he would. Okay, well, are we not going to see Doc's response? Oh, nope, that's not a true empiricism. You don't think making a claim that there is a creator is supernatural? We're definitely not going to play hide the faith here, folks. It depends on how far back you may take the argument from design. Okay, we're playing coy here. As well as what angle. Did he just use a semicolon? Oh, shit, okay. Not really how you're supposed to use a semicolon, but points for trying, man. Points for trying. As well as from what angle someone. Man, I'm sorry, I'm a huge grammar Nazi. I'm just, that bothers me. From what angle. Blame Hogtie, champ, by the way. From what angle someone may look at design. Sure, okay. But simply pointing out that there may be fingerprints left from a designer, which can be detected in the physical, has nothing at all to do with the supernatural. So for the sake of brevity, detecting intelligent causation is a solitary perspective that most people take if they are to be modest. Really. So you're detecting intelligent causation. I'm not sure what that means, right? It sounds like you're trying to derive a causal link between an observation and an agent, when if it because I've heard you say that this is an abductive argument, which is curious, since I've not known an intelligence to be without some type of substrate in which it comes from. But okay, I'm genuinely curious how you even constructed that sentence in your mind, because it doesn't make sense. But okay. But there can be additional arguments that lead to a supernatural perspective on a creator, but science would not be that tool. Okay, so if we're already outside of the realm of methodological naturalism, which is what you're deferring to here, then the only other system that I could think of that would be applicable here would be the supernatural. So in the beginning here, you can kind of play coy as to Doc's reference to supernatural, but here you already acknowledge that that's indeed what we're talking about here. All right, sort of like how you can use I guess you mean metal detector to detect metal, but not woods, rubbers, plastics. You need another tool for this. Okay, so if we need a supernatural methodology, then again, that's exactly what Doc was talking about. So this is just kind of one of the examples that I referenced earlier, when you are trying to interpret what someone says, and then it's almost like you don't realize that we can see and hear. And so the point that you made here in reference to Doc Savage really didn't counter anything, because all you did was say, well, no one's talking about the supernatural, and then you went and elaborated exactly on why we can't use methodological naturalism in reference to a supernatural event. So what was the point of you giving that contention to Doc, if that's exactly what you spent an entire paragraph talking about? So, okay. Again, this is just why. So I love receipts. I love receipts. And when people say, oh, Jay Drag, why you have that opinion about that person, why are you saying that? This is why. This was a week ago, not even a week ago, that this was posted. So for 2020, we're going to do big things, big things. We're going to branch out. We're going to grow, but we're not going to actually change the things that we do. I'm not dissing you because you have a perspective on a God. That my cousins, the folks who are going to be watching my son, have a perspective on God that may be similar to yours. I don't give a shit. The fact of the matter is true, that you want to be taken seriously. You want to be a serious interlocutor in a dirt bait online in the great debate communities. Okay. You want people of merit to take you seriously, and you want people to believe that you are going to somehow be different than you were 10 years ago. I can buy that on face value. What I can't buy are people's actions that resemble exactly what they say that they're not going to do. That's the issue that I have. So I'm pretty sure this isn't really going to get much better. And feel free, folks, to go and click this video and watch it and draw your own conclusion. right? I'll, as always, don't just believe what I say. Doc and I talked about this because it's interesting. It is very, very interesting that you're still kind of doing the same stuff that you've always done. If you didn't grow to 10,000 subscribers doing this sort of thing before, what makes you think that you're going to do it now? That's a serious question. I'm not being facetious, or excuse me, facetious, as D-Roy says. So Doc asked him, so what precise characteristics in biology would indicate the requirement for magic? Again, in reference, a flippant response, but a reference to the supernatural, as mentioned before. I asked because your response above is meaningless babble. Best wishes, Doc. That's definitely Doc language. So we can contest the use of magic in reference to supernatural, but again, you understand what he's talking about. If we're talking about you drawing conclusions and you're trying to, again, make these, and I say making an abductive argument because that's something that you have specifically told me before that you are making. You said this intelligent design argument is abductive. Did I say abductive? Abductive, excuse me. That's what we need a precedent. We need a precedent, and that's my understanding of how abductive argument works. Someone feel free to correct me, but maybe I'm wrong. And of course, we got a lot of comments, So a tool can be used to prove your assertion. Great question. Awesome question. My question for the atheist: what constitutes evidence for God? That seems a bit tangential, but okay. But it's just like this conversation really didn't go anywhere. So now we're back here. We're back to how things have happened and how things are supposed to change. And it doesn't look like they're changing. It looks like the same shit. G-Man's doing the same shit. Nothing's changed. It's great that people want new resolutions for the New Year's, but it's almost like, every housewife saying that she's going to go and lose weight. She's going to go to the gym and does it for a week and then stops. Housewife is me, by the way. I'm housewife. So true. I genuinely want to understand how it is that you think that this is going to get you the clout that you desire. Right? You have acknowledged it, and kudos to you. Again, I'm not throwing shade. Kudos to you, man, for being honest with yourself. Like, we knew it. You denied it. We knew that you were being immature. We knew that you were just arguing for the sake of arguing. You know what? Because we enjoy you. That's fine. That's cool too. You know what? That's something that everyone is guilty of. Everybody is guilty of. But you can't deny that in your immaturity, you have not made a great impression on the people that you want to take you seriously. Now, I'm not the most mature motherfucker in the world. I am incredibly petty. But I know when to sit down and have a serious conversation. And I think if you really want to destroy secularism, people might have to take you seriously. But we don't. I'm just going to be honest with you. Do you think Scientist Sam takes you seriously? No. Think CRISPR, Rational Mind, take you seriously? No. Any one of us that has any background in science, do you think any of us take you seriously? No. How is it that you are going to get your channel to grow if you don't at least have somebody that you can engage with that's going to take you serious enough to have this protracted conversations with? Because you know what? There's quite a few people who will engage you. Absolutely. Brenda will talk to anybody, and kudos to Brenda. I don't know who the Gavin dude was, but you know what? Hey, but who finds that interesting enough to sit there? You think Aaron Raw and Matt Dillahunty want to deal with you? I can tell you right now they don't. Ask me how I know. So, unless there's some change in your trajectory, I don't see anything changing. I don't see much growth here for this new year. But this is just me. I wouldn't actually waste time and make a video to G-Man like this because G-Man's fucking stupid. I don't think that you're fucking stupid. I honestly don't. I just think that you're lazy. Actually, a lot of us just think that you're just lazy, which isn't a terrible thing. But I think that if you see the direction other folks are going in, you say, you know what, I want to change, then you have to really sit down and consider are my goals a bit too lofty? What exactly am I going to do to change? And just even before all that, like acknowledging what are my faults? Where have I gone wrong? So just saying that, I've been immature, I don't think is really enough. That's the start. That's a good start. It's definitely a good start. What are the mechanics of my engagement that need to change? Just the same information or advice that me and Soccer Count gave Nakasuchi. Said, man, you just can't rage on people and expect to grow your channel. If you don't believe me, ask him. If you don't believe, just ask me or at Glass Naka. You can't do that, man. It's the same thing with you. You got a very similar problem. The second you disagree with someone, you just lose your goddamn mind. And then you start to rewrite history. There's a whole Google Doc, man. We made an entire Google Doc, like me and 5 other people, of the original version of a conversation and then your interpretation of it. And then when you got mad, when we started doing transcripts of the stuff that you say, why do you think it is that you get mad when someone types out exactly what you say? Why do you think that is? I know it has a lot to do with the immaturity that you admitted to, but it's because you realize how bad you look. You really see how bad you look. When I literally sit down and read out the words that came out of your mouth, they don't make any sense. Even when I sent that transcript to one of my microbiology professors, the guy who actually was a grad student for Lynn Margulis. And he weighed in on it. You remember that? Somebody who's not even connected with this. You say, well, Drag just an asshole. Drag just biased. Somebody who doesn't even know you, who read the transcript of you talking about a topic, didn't find it very compelling, didn't find it very coherent. What does that tell you? You can make every excuse in the world for why somebody else doesn't think that you're a goddamn genius. But there's a certain part where you have to go, you know what? I don't know enough about this topic to speak intelligently on it. But for some reason that aversion, I guess, doesn't occur with you. If you're trying to grow for 2020, you're trying to hit that 10K, trying to get that play button, you might want to figure that shit out. You might want to figure that shit out real quick. Because I can tell you right now, I wouldn't mind engaging. I think it's funny. I enjoy the hell out of it. But I'm not going to dedicate a whole lot of time to mess with you. I'm not. There's no point. Is Skylar? Probably not. Probably not. Our audiences may enjoy it for a little bit, so we may do it a little bit more than we want to. Yeah, sure. But it just becomes tiring when the majority of interaction from you is you not understanding the topic, making this canned response to whatever it is that's brought up, whether it be intelligent design or whatever, straw manning what somebody says, and then trying to rewrite history as to the events that actually occurred in the discussion. That all of your exchanges can be summed up that way, whether it be with me, with Skylar, with Sam, or whoever. It doesn't matter. All of them go that way. Again, you can go ask the guys. If am I lying? No. I want to see growth. If you want your 10K, even I'll share your videos. If you can actually have a decent conversation with somebody and not do those 4 things, even I will. I don't give a shit. It's whatever to me. But if you really want to come back and do this again, I suggest you not get sucked in with G-Man and his drama. But you're your own man. Do what you want. But if you're trying to go this route, you might want to step your game up. Just a little bit. You just don't want to be a lost cow. You just don't want to be remembered as a guy who said ATP synthase 50,000 times. And by the way, if you're going to bring that back, you might want to know which ATP synthase you're talking about there. Hint, 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 hint. Because there's more than one. If you want to be a serious interlocutor, go contact James for Modern Day Debate. Go and get you some debates, if that's what you want to do. Go for it, man. It's your life. So, anyway, I don't even know what I'm going to name this. I'll think of something. It'll be the name that appears in the title. That's what I'll name this. There we go. So all of you know. But anyway, folks, that's it. I'm gonna go get some exercise or something. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Study some physiology. See ya.